It didn't take much more than a bottle and 2 chairs to make a speakeasy. This is what Daniel Okrent said in his book, Last Call, The Rise and Fall of Prohibition. Today, join us for some stories. Get your own bottle, glass, or mug, and relax. This is Speak Easily, and I'm your host, Krista Stoffer.
And I have a really weird light because there's this thing called the sun that's actually out today. So if I look oddly in shadow, I'm trying to adjust it. But I'm so excited because we have Santa Claus here with us today. We've been so excited to have you on, and it's really cool that you'd come on our little podcast and talk with us.
It's
so
super
thanks,
cool.
Santa.
Yes.
Well,
Thank
it's an honor
you.
to be
Welcome.
with you. Yes.
Yes, especially this time of year. I know you're pretty busy this time of year.
Tomorrow night.
Wow.
Whew.
Wow. It comes fast, doesn't it?
It does.
Wow. Well, that's
When
really
do
cool.
you? I'm going to start right. I have so many questions for you because there's so many things I need to know. When do you start everything? When does the hubbub start? Like, do you start in December, or is it an all year long kind of gig?
Well, I start lining up visits at the end of September.
Wow.
And usually
okay.
by the end of October, I'm booked on a normal year.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, what do you do on the 26th of December? Do you just
This
sleep?
year I'm doing a visit.
Are you really?
There's a young man that's having a 1-year-old birthday, and we're going to do a photo shoot in the woods. I've always said that to be Santa Claus, you need to be able to go with the flow. I was asked 2 years ago to visit a couple of young people that came from Florida, and they wanted to see Santa, so I went to 26, and they said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "The code says all gifts must be delivered. The elves found this bag of gifts under the back seat of the sleigh. I'm back to deliver them."
Oh,
"Where's your sleigh?" I said, "It's at the North Pole. I flew into the Knox County Airport. They loaned me that little white Chevy out there. I drove to your house, and here I am."
oh, that's so much fun.
Oh, there's nothing better. There's not a thing in the world better than being Santa Claus. And if you don't believe it, dress up like just one time and walk into a room full of children.
I mean, I had a little taste of it when I dressed as Chewbacca and walked around my neighborhood trick-or-treating. The looks were outstanding. So I can't even imagine that. Oh, this is so much fun. So I guess the 26th this year you have a visit, but after the season's over, are you just wiped out for a while?
No, normally the 26th is the worst day of my year.
Yeah.
Aw.
Because you're a rock star for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm just back to feeding chickens and taking care of peacocks and petting dogs. And it really is the day after Christmas when I don't have a visit, which normally you don't, the worst day of the year.
Aw.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, we could have Christmas, then it could be 70 the next day so I can get on the golf course.
Oh, there you go.
There you
There
go.
you go.
But this business of, living through January and February, and then when March gets here, you might be able to get on the golf course. But yeah, I love I would be Santa Claus 365 if I could figure out a way to do it.
Yeah.
This year I'll be answering letters to Santa for probably a week after Christmas because I collect all of them, and it takes me
how
that
cool.
long to answer each one.
I can imagine. Yeah. Does it seem like there's a lot more this year, or is it about the same?
No, actually it's less, and I'll tell you one reason. I think because one of the post offices, the United States Postal Service has set up a thing, and I think it's great, where if a child writes in and they're in need, they filter that to a clearing agency who will make sure that they get gifts. So one of the post offices has taken all the letters to Santa and sent them that direction.
Wow.
But for the most part, I'm still going to answer probably 30 or 40. In the last 5 years, I've probably answered 500 letters.
My goodness.
And I keep them all. I've got a file here with all the letters.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Do we lose Santa?
We lost his audio, I think.
Santa, we might have lost you. Uh-oh.
Spotty signal from the North Pole.
Yeah. That's a
Don't
long
use
way
that.
away.
Oh,
Santa, I think we lost you. Well,
you
in
guys
the
are
meantime,
frozen on my screen.
oh, you're back.
Well, I think you're back
We're
now.
back?
You're back.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yes.
moved my mouse. I don't know if that, okay.
It's technology.
Yep. No, I wanted to put out a little bit of a warning to parents about the Elf on the Shelf.
Okay.
Use it as something fun. Don't use it as a weapon. I got a letter the other day, and there was no return address, so I can't take care of it.
Yeah.
Please forgive me for touching my elf. Can you bring him back to life?
Oh my goodness.
Somewhere our parents use that elf as a weapon. And that, to me, that's sad. I think there are a lot of good things you can do with that particular tool. I remember the first time a child brought me one in a jar, and I looked at this like, what is, and somebody explained to me on the side, they can't touch it. Parents put it in a jar, they bring it to you to bless it, and then you send them home with it.
Oh.
So, but parents don't use the elf as a tool or as a weapon because children are already vulnerable. And I don't want anything associated with Christmas or Santa Claus to be anything but happy and joyful.
Absolutely. I think we never did the elf on the shelf tradition in our house. It just wasn't something we put the focus on Jesus's birth and what it means.
Well, the belt buckle I'm wearing now, I don't know if we can get it on camera or not, is Nativity.
Oh, how cool.
Let me raise up just a little bit, see if we can get this thing on.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
And that's why people ask, I've got 4 suits and I just ordered another one. And I've got friends, I haven't, but I've got friends that spent $2,000 on a handmade suit.
Oh my goodness.
My suits average $400 a piece. But here at the North Pole, they got to protect you. So.
Oh, absolutely.
They're fireproof. Absolutely. That's why if I come down the chimney and somebody forgot about it, I'm still okay.
Have you ever gotten stuck down a chimney?
What are you saying? I need less cookies?
But they leave them out for you.
That's
it's
right.
It's not your fault. I mean,
this right here put them out. Is my magic key. If you don't have a fireplace, I can get into any house in the world on Christmas Eve with that key.
Oh, is that how that works?
That's how it works.
That's cool.
That's how you got into our house because we don't have a chimney.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
same
and
here.
I have children that worry about that. And I'll say, don't worry about it. I've got 3 magic keys, and between the 3 of them, they fit every door in the world on Christmas Eve if there's not a chimney.
That's a handy thing.
I love it. It is.
Yeah.
I would have liked, though, Santa, I should have left it in the note. When you come in on Christmas, do you mind like cleaning up a little bit? Because it's always messy.
Well, I've got 8 billion stops to make. So
okay. I just want to throw it out there.
Probably not going to happen.
How do we have probably will have questions coming in from people that are watching on Facebook Live. So Ben, if you see any of those, are you able to?
I got my eyes on it right now, and I'm also going to introduce somebody. Hey, Jack, come here a second, buddy. I got a surprise for you. Put that down. Come here, bud. Look who I'm talking to. Say hi.
Hi, Jack.
Oh,
how are you, my friend?
Hang on one second. Let me get the audio switched over so you can hear you. There we go. Yep.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Santa Claus.
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
What do you want for Christmas?
What do you want for Christmas, bud?
I want some stickies, a pop, and a disco ball.
All right. I'll tell you what. I'll get the elves right on that because they're helping me with this right now, and they're working as hard as they can because tomorrow night I take flight.
Tomorrow night he's coming. So, hey, remember mention that last one because remember did you put that last thing on your list? Remember?
You mean the disco ball?
Yeah, your disco ball. He forgot to put the disco ball on the list. And
that's okay. This is being recorded, and the elves are watching it, so we're good.
Perfect. There you go. You're in good shape, man. All right. Thank you, Santa. That's awesome.
Not a problem. Merry Christmas, Jack.
Merry Christmas.
Bye, Jack. Jack's like,
that's another thing. You never, ever, ever promise anything. I'll see what I can do. I'll talk to the head elf.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I imagine once you get close enough to Christmas, it's probably hard for you to get certain things, or they've already been packed up, or.
Well, here's what happens, and people don't realize this. I don't take all the toys in my sleigh. There's absolutely logistically, it can't happen. So I do have a logistics elf, and they place toys all over the world. And when I stop, I fill the sleigh back up. I've got certain stops. So it's just like DHL or any of the rest of the delivery services. I've got different posts where I stop, fill the sleigh back up.
Goodness gracious. How long does it take you to get all over the world?
Well, you slow time down. That's what happens. Right. So you don't really notice it. When they're with different time zones, like right now in Australia, it's approaching 1 o'clock to 1:30 in the morning. So, you've got a 12-hour, sometimes a 16-hour difference, but you slow time down.
That makes sense. So, okay, answer me this. So you have a lot of clothing on. I mean, you're probably super warm in the North Pole. However, what about when you get to places like on the equator? Is it not boiling hot?
Well, the suit's got a cooling system in it. And this suit, I particularly have one right now, has a vest. So I can take the jacket and lay it off to one side, and it's just a white cotton shirt with a vest, which helps.
Oh,
I'll tell you what's hot's the hat, and I have to have it cooling in the hat. But the hat's magic, so it's got to stay on.
That's true.
Hat comes off, magic goes away.
Right. My husband was asking, why red? Why is the suit red?
Well, the suit originally was green.
Okay.
And they decided that red was more, and if you'll notice, I don't wear red, I wear burgundy. Because I like burgundy, it photographs better. And I think it's got a richer texture to it. But originally it was green. They moved it to red because it's more of a color that people will recognize. And also, believe it or not, it's got some origins in the blood of Christ.
Okay. Well, that makes sense then.
But yeah, the original suit was green.
Okay. And he also asked why the fur lining on the hat and on the shoulders.
That's
is that just
because of the North Pole.
Warmth?
Yeah, no, that's
okay.
That's warmth. No special other than it's warm.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Now, do you wear the suit all year, like when you go golfing in the spring and everything?
No, I wear something red every single day, and I usually wear something that's got Christmas. I've got Mrs. Claus is not thrilled with 27 T-shirts, but I tell her I do the laundry when I'm not doing Christmas, so don't worry about it. But I've got probably 30 T-shirts that have something to do with Christmas on them.
Nice.
And then I've got Hawaiian shirts that have Santa on them.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you have to have those are for
shirts. Yeah,
and red shorts. I wear red shorts when I play golf.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But I wear something red 365.
Very nice.
I even have a red three-piece suit.
Wow.
Now, how much of a hand do you have in the actual making of the toys?
Not as much as I used to.
Okay.
A little one asked me a while back how many elves I had. I said, I don't know. Because there are so many doing so many things. For instance, American Girl doll, very, very popular toy. Probably 20 years ago, I was fortunate enough to go to Chicago and see the American Girl doll factory and hospital. And I was able to take those notes and their permission. I take it back to the North Pole. Now we're able to build those toys.
Oh, that's helpful.
We've gone from wooden toys to you name it, we can make it because we've got elves that are experts in every facet of technology.
Yeah.
I'm more of a supervisor now.
Okay.
I mean, I still can get my hands on things, but when we went away from the wooden toys and the simple things, I pretty much bowed out and I just keep an eye on things. And I've got, just like any other organization, we've got supervisors that watch all the way down the line to the elves, but they do such a good job. One child was worried about the elves overworking themselves. And I said, I'm going to tell you a life lesson.
Very sweet.
You find something you like and love, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's the way the elves are. They love what they do. They work and they don't mind.
Yeah. And you said, are they all over the world now? Are they?
No, they're at the North. All the elves are at the North Pole.
So
now,
tomorrow
morning,
night,
tomorrow morning they'll start spreading out the drops points.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's like pre-placement.
Yeah.
Like with disasters, they pre-place like food and buses and stuff. We do that.
Now, I know that you're not supposed to pick favorites, but is there any particular place you love delivering gifts?
I don't know about delivering gifts, but the most beautiful, wonderful place I've ever been in my life was Saipan in the North Mariana Islands.
Oh, wow.
It's 3 hours off the coast of Japan.
Okay.
And the only way you know it's winter is it rains because it's 80 degrees all the time. Wow. And if it does rain, hang on because it's going to last 5 minutes. It's a tropical paradise.
So I need to go there. Okay.
The only problem is I took a commercial flight there when I went on vacation, and it's a 20-hour flight.
That's a hefty flight. Yeah.
I could have made it in 10 minutes in my sleigh. The problem is I don't use a sleigh except on Christmas Eve because that's when the magic works.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We do have a question from the audience. Doug has chimed in. He's asking, how many gifts do you receive each year? And do you have one that's really stuck out as being one of your favorites?
This sounds a little bit hokey, but the best gifts I receive, I didn't get this year, and that's hugs from children. I did get one. I had a child that broke the line, got through, and gave me a hug. I tell the children that's where I get my magic are from the hugs.
I bet.
I
I bet.
I did get a stuffed elf that a lady sent me. I've been to their house just for visits several times, and that's probably one of the nice ones I've gotten. It's a stuffed elf that I keep posted on my shelves over here.
That's
Aw.
lovely.
That's a great question because I do have people. I had a little boy write me a letter and put $1 in it, and I framed it. You know,
That's so cute. What's the hot ticket item this year? What are a lot of kids asking for this year?
the same thing they've asked for a long time: Legos,
Okay.
LOL dolls. I'll tell you the one thing they keep asking for that worries me a little bit because I don't think they know what they're getting into is a hoverboard. I
Uh-huh.
bet I get
yeah.
100 requests a year for hoverboards. But what I like is the
Krista
fact
has
that-
bad experiences with hoverboards.
Yeah.
actually.
What happened to you, Krista?
I managed to get both feet on, and then I went straight down on the tailbone. Yeah, I don't recommend that at all.
One thing that's
Wait.
encouraging to me is most of the toys they're asking for are not the high tech. Oh, some of them will say, yeah, I want an iPad or I want a phone. But most of them are Legos, American Girl dolls, LOL dolls, things like that, trampolines, are things that they have to think in
Mhm.
order to use. And I'm not saying that the electronics you don't have to think because there's a lot of those things that are strategic. But they're at a lot. Legos is probably the most popular toy for the last 10 years. If there's one popular toy.
Yeah. Which I love Legos. I'm a fan myself. I don't
Well, they're
like
smart because
stepping
they
I
on
grew
them.
up playing with them, so yeah. I'm
Well,
a
they
big
keep moving
fan.
it. Like now they've got Star Wars Lego, which is really popular. That wasn't around much last year. Now because they adapt.
Hmm. Which is smart.
It is smart. That's the way you live. You know, that's the way you stay alive.
Yep.
But I look back, the American Girl doll, that was 20 years ago that I went to that hospital, and
Wow.
it's probably been, I bet American Girl doll has been around for 40 or 50 years. And
Wow.
they're
I
still
think-
as popular now as they ever were. I don't know for sure how long before we started making them at the North Pole.
Did the books, I don't know if you would know this, I don't know this. Did the books come first or did the dolls come first?
You know, I don't know.
Okay. Because
I
I
think the
remember
books came first, but I don't remember.
I think I remember a couple kids in elementary middle, just because their name was the same, they wanted the book. Of course,
Yeah.
nobody writes anything about Meet Krista.
Right. Well, the other thing that they've done that I really like is they've done like what a lot of Barbie has done, and that's another popular. Barbie Dream House is huge. But they've gone with different racial backgrounds and
Mhm.
things like that so that everyone can feel included. There's no one that's not included in the American Girl doll.
Mhm. And it's not just a doll. I love the fact that it has a character, a specific character that we meet and we learn something about history, and they're great books. It's a really
Well,
good
as I
series.
mentioned, if you break one of them or hurt one of them, you can send it to the hospital. You don't send it to the factory. You send it to the hospital. They make
Yeah.
it well and they send it back.
I think we have one here, in Columbus. I don't know why I'm asking Ben. Ben's
I think you do have one in it's like a Polaris
yes,
or
we
someplace.
do, of course. Yeah, I think
When I
there's
flew
one,
over, I saw something, but
Yeah.
I feel like there was one at Easton for a long time. I don't know if it's
That
still
could be.
there or not.
I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
hospital. I mean, there's a store there, but I don't know if there was like a salon or spa. We were into it here, but I have a 13-year-old girl, so we've kind of moved a little bit beyond that. But yeah.
the other thing I get asked a lot about is are puppies.
Oh, that's hard.
Oh.
And well,
Yeah.
here's what I tell the children, and I tell a few adults this because I had an adult ask me for a puppy. My reindeer are magic. They can take altitude and speed. Real animals can't.
Mm-mm.
And I asked one little girl, she goes, well, I still want a puppy. I said, so you want it to die in the sleigh because it can't take the speed and the altitude? Well, no. I said, then we talked to mom and dad about that.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to handle that question
Yeah.
is because I've had children ask me for things and I glance over at the parents and they were about ready to have a stroke. Looking to see
Mhm.
what I was going to say. And that's when I say, well, we'll talk to the head elf about that and see what we can find out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's hard. I mean, I remember asking Santa for things when I was a kid, when I would visit in Denver. You probably remember that way back when. But when my kids would talk to you, they suddenly came up with stuff that wasn't on their list. That's really hard. And I like that you don't promise things. That helps out too.
Well, and that's critical. And the other thing I think is fascinating about the psychology of a child is they'll talk about meeting Santa for 2 days before they get there. And when they get in front of me, they got nothing.
Yeah.
They go into lockdown mode. Yes.
You were asking me about the day after Christmas. 2 years ago, I did a tree lighting in Pinecrest, Ohio. Well, Orange,
Okay.
by Cleveland. And that's the closest to being a rock star I've ever been. I walked out on stage and was mic'd up. There was a guy who looked like the Grinch. And there were probably 3,000 people there. And
Oh
I
my
mean, they were
gosh.
reaching up to the stage and that kind of thing. I did a little talk about the Grinch and finally forgave him. And then the countdown, and I put my hand on the switch with the mayor, threw the switch, light, the tree came on, fireworks went off. And I thought, well, I'll go home now, back to the North Pole. And it was an hour before we could get out of that area
Oh
for
my
taking
gosh.
pictures and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, how cool. We have a very good friend of ours on the podcast, played Ronald McDonald for a long time. So he was in a different outfit. Are kids ever scared to talk to you?
Oh, terrifying. And what I'll tell a parent, if they've 2 years ago, I thought about buying a pair of shin guards. This is the true story, because I got kicked so many times.
Oh
My
my
children, you know
gosh.
how they stiffen out.
Yeah. Oh, just,
And
yeah.
I finally say, let's not traumatize anybody. If you want to take
Mm-hmm.
a walk and come back, that's fine. If you want to try next year, that's fine. But don't try to get the photo op for you.
Yeah.
That's not doing anybody any good. And really, if there's anything that's helped, is that with this pandemic is now, at least at the zoo, they're far enough away where they can see me, but know that I'm not going to touch them or reach out for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the other thing. You never reach for a child. You let them come to you.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
Political correctness. They don't sit on your lap. They sit on your knee. Santa wears white gloves, so the hands are always in sight.
Okay.
I carry $2 million in liability insurance. I have a
Wow.
background check every year.
Yeah. That's smart. That's smart. I know that
Um,
mine were always a little afraid, but I said, you can just stand and talk. That's fine too.
And you
You know?
never know. Every single child is different. I mean, you've got some children at 3, they'll run to you and jump on you. Others at 5 will say, I'm not going close. I tell parents, we always tell children, don't talk to strangers. Then you want to hand them to a giant in a red suit they've never seen before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you think that's okay. So that's just some of the things that,
No, that makes sense to me. That makes sense. How do you enjoy holding I always love seeing people bring their little teeny tiny babies.
Oh, I do. 1 year, within a 20-minute period, I held a 1-week-old baby and I visited with a 101-year-old woman.
Oh my god.
Because I was at a light, an area like Wild Lights, and they brought a senior citizens bus. And I've always been amazed at the way people walk up to you and just hand their baby to you. Like, okay, but I do. Because usually when they're that small, they're too small to be afraid.
Oh yeah.
So you
Yeah.
really get
sleep
a chance
through
to,
it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a
And you
couple
get to
audience
give them back
questions here
afterward.
too.
Okay.
The first audience question I have here is is there a reason you have a particular number of reindeer, 8 or 9 with Rudolph? And
Or
where
10 with Olive.
10 oh yeah, 10 with Olive.
Olive,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
reindeer.
The Olive. Oh gosh.
Well, we use 8 reindeer on our range because that's the most manageable amount. And with Rudolph out front, don't tell Rudolph this. I don't need him anymore because of technology, but I would never tell him that.
No.
He's great and he's very proud, so he's happy to do it. But it's a good even number to manage with the reins, and that's why. Now the reindeer, we know all the names, but they change in and out. We just keep the names assigned to the reindeer because it's assigned by position.
Okay.
At the front, side, middle, and back.
Oh, okay. That makes
Sometimes
sense.
if say Donner doesn't feel well or he's got an injury, we'll plug another reindeer in there, but it's Donner. The other thing a lot of people don't know is they're not just deer, they're caribou, because the caribou is very fast and very strong.
Okay. That's interesting to know. Okay. Now, when you travel south, where it gets warmer, like towards the equator and everything, do you take your coat off, or do you have shorts on underneath everything? Like when
No,
you
I
get
don't.
to a
Like I
more
said, we got a cooling system in the suit. I may take my jacket and lay it off to one side, but the hat never comes off.
makes sense. All
But,
right.
yeah, the cooling system and the other thing is, until I come down, I mean, at the altitude where I am, it's below zero all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you look at an
Yeah,
airplane,
you're way up there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
You want to stay warm up there. And another question: what are you planning on getting Mrs. Claus this year?
That's a good question.
How do you
Well,
shop for Mrs. Claus? That seems like that would be the most impossible.
actually,
person
she
to shop
doesn't
for.
say a lot, but this year she did give me a couple of ideas we were able to fulfill. One thing, I know she's not listening, so I did get her a smartwatch.
Oh,
So
Cool.
I have one that's a fitness tracker, and she liked it a lot. And she very seldom says anything, but I was able to get her a smartwatch. It's a fitness tracker.
Good deal. So you're
And,
watching your fitness and everything too, right?
I'm trying. This
Good.
pandemic's not been good to me, but that's
Oh,
an excuse
man.
because I can get as much exercise as I want. It's
Mhm.
just that, like tonight, I'll get back to the North Pole about 10 o'clock tonight. And that's after about a 10-hour day of, visiting with people and talking to folks. And even with magic, you talk to, tonight, it's a nice day outside. We may see 200 families
Wow.
in 4
Yeah.
hours. So,
because you'll be at the Columbus Zoo tonight.
right, Wildlights.
Yeah.
And tonight's the
Yeah.
last night for Santa. Now, Wildlights
Okay.
runs through, I think, January the 3rd. But they, of course, they let me off because they know tomorrow is busy.
Yeah.
So another question. This one's from Shannon. Shannon's asking, do the reindeer eat the reindeer food that they leave out for the
Yes.
reindeer?
I have a special magic food that helps them fly, but a flight that long, absolutely. When you leave reindeer food out, they eat it.
They probably get really
I
hungry.
imagine.
It's a lot of
they do-
work.
They
Burn
do
a lot of
really well.
calories doing
Yeah.
all that.
And it's kind of like when you're coasting, once you get started, it's not too bad, but it's the actual takeoff that like a jet.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do the reindeer get along? Do they ever fight?
No.
Or get aggressive with one another?
No, we breed them so we make sure that they're docile enough to get along with each other, yet aggressive enough to fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old Rudolph thing, that isn't totally true. I mean, that's a but Rudolph was a little bit ostracized, but not as bad as a lot of people think. Reindeer are pretty loving animals.
Yeah.
And
And
it
they're
took a while
pretty.
for him to get used to that. And it was true that he was ostracized until we had the fog set in. But once he saved Christmas that one time, that's all it took.
That's true.
And they realized that, he's a hero now forever.
Yeah.
Do you?
Rise to the occasion,
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure the reindeer are not listening either, but do you have a favorite reindeer?
I don't.
Okay.
I like Donner a lot, simply because he's Rudolph's dad. And
Yeah.
the other thing is, he's very, very intelligent.
Mm.
And I'm going to I'm going to send a plug out here. It's not published yet, but I do have an illustrator. I wrote a book this year that's I hope to go to press first of next year, called Cletus, Santa's Runaway Puppy.
Oh,
And the basis is that, without telling you the story necessarily, be happy with who you are and make sure that you take time to fulfill your responsibilities.
yeah.
And I found a very good illustrator in Turkey, of all places, which is interesting because that's where I'm from. St. Nicholas was born
Okay.
in Myra,
Yeah.
which is modern day Turkey.
You have a lot of names that you go by. Do you have one that you prefer? Because some people call you Kris Kringle. Is there a particular name? Like, if you had to sign a paper, what would you sign it with?
Well, I sign it Mr. C.
Okay.
Because you sign it enough times. But in Spain, I like Papa Noel a lot. I think that's really cool. And then in Norway, it's Jule Nielsen, which
Okay.
I like that a lot too.
Sounds like Liam Neeson. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
really. In fact, I bought a brush for my comb or my beard, and they wanted to know if I wanted it engraved. I had it engraved Jule Nielsen.
Oh, how cool.
Because I like, and one day I think if I ever get a time, and I never will, but to take Christmas off, I'd like to spend it in Finland.
Ooh.
Because Finland fights with Norway and Sweden about the origin of Santa Claus. And I tell them we're both wrong. He's from Turkey. I'm from Turkey. So, you guys can forget it. You might be cold countries, but I wasn't born in a cold country.
Yeah. That's well, because it sounds to me like you have a pretty strong golf game going. So yeah, I was thinking like he may not be from the cold. I think he likes the warmth a little bit.
Yeah, I play golf as much as I can, but the cold doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's just part of what you do.
I imagine you get used
do.
to it after a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then,
are you a sports guy?
I am.
Yeah.
I follow all of Ohio teams. And at the risk of making a lot of people mad, the Bengals taking out the Steelers the other night. I did not throw any fairy dust at that. I like hockey a lot. One sport I'm not real familiar with, but with the MLS championship, soccer is one that I'm trying to learn more about.
Yeah, we've got a good team here that did really well.
Yeah. So
I don't know anything about soccer either, so you're fine.
The Columbus Crew won the MLS championship, which is interesting because 2 years ago they were on the verge of not existing.
Yeah.
So I do like sports. Probably football is my favorite sport, American rules football.
Okay.
But I like them all. And I don't, I root for who I root for, but I keep it under wraps because I don't want anybody to think I'm helping anybody out.
Yeah, don't give any team fairness, but if you want to let the Broncos do better next time around, that'd be great. Thanks for that ahead of time. What is the strangest request a kid has ever asked you for?
Boy, there have been some odd ones. One sad one I got just in a letter the other day was she wanted me to help her parents stop fighting because they fight too much.
Yeah.
And my answer to that is I could put you on my prayer list because Santa prays, but my specialty is electronics and toys. And outside of that, I don't have a lot of ability to change relationships. I did tell her in my answer to her in the letter that this is not an excuse or a license to be mean, but parents are humans and this has been a rough year on everyone.
Yeah.
So, maybe give it time. But I had a girl ask me for a pickle. Actually, last year I delivered a hot dog shaped pillow to a little girl at her request. So,
wow.
You never know what they're going to say. That's another thing I like about the job is you never know what they're going to say.
The challenge has got to be kind of refreshing sometimes. It's a very specific thing. I know my kid had one specific thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, he wanted a blue car with flames. So that was a very specific request. So we made sure that we wrote that out and sent that off to you.
Well, I get children that'll spend 2 or 3 minutes describing exactly what they want in a particular toy. And that's okay. I mean, this is their opportunity to speak to Santa. So
I'm sure I remember my little neighbor when she was about 2. It was such a challenge for her parents because she had trouble saying her words. So all she wanted for Christmas was alphabet roadway. And nobody knew what she wanted. It took them, I think, months to figure out alphabet roadway was what she wanted.
Oh.
So is it hard for you sometimes with little ones that aren't able to really tell you what they want?
Well, at the zoo with the masks and things on, we were joking the other day. I said, a child could ask me for a 2-headed orangutan, and I go, "Oh, no problem. I'll see what we can do." I don't understand a lot of what they're saying because of the mask and all those kind of things. Oh, hang on just a second. I got a call coming in.
Okay.
It's my North Pole radio.
Oh, I like it.
Oh, it's Clementine. Nah, we're doing great, Clementine. Thanks for cleaning up the workshop. I'll be back tonight. Thank you. All kinds of toys.
Who is that?
Clementine's one of the head elves.
Okay.
Very
cool. I'm really thankful that you came to visit us today because I'm sure you are swamped right now.
I know we don't.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. It's you take the time to do what's important, and I've got good elves running the program. So
So I have to ask, do you sleep ever?
Oh yeah, I sleep. I sleep at night.
Okay.
A lot of times I'll get 5 or 6 hours of sleep, but we have elves that are working all around the clock. So it's like any other supervisor. I check in on them, and if there's a
Okay.
problem, they can come and get me. That's not a problem.
Do you get the energy buildup the day before, like today? We
I
call
get energy
this
buildup as
Christmas.
soon as I put the suit on. When I get
Okay.
up in the morning, no matter how tired I am, because I take care of my own animals, and
Mhm.
it's funny, no matter how tired I am, when this suit goes on, I'm good for
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Wow. But do you, I mean, for Christmas Eve, you're going all night, I assume. You don't get a break
Right.
during that time, do you? Okay.
No,
Can you
but
you
it's
don't?
like a lot of other things. Adrenaline kicks in, and that you've got this to do, and you don't think about I'm going to be doing this for 24 hours. With the time
Mhm.
slowing down, you just think about here's what my next stop's going to be, and here's how quickly I've got to get in and out.
Do you stop to get
Yeah.
coffee on the way? I feel like I'd get coffee.
We have a coffee machine in the sleigh.
Nice.
Oh, that's smart.
Nice.
smart.
That's smart.
Yeah.
We have a couple of questions.
Yeah, the sleigh's pretty well equipped.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have to be.
Who built the sleigh? That's a question from Doug. He's asking who built the sleigh and how fast can it actually go? Doug is Krista's
Well,
husband.
yeah.
by
Doug
the
is
way. I
my
gotta-
husband. He's
Hold on,
upstairs.
he's really
asking
excited
a lot
about
of
this,
questions.
so.
He's really excited you're here. I give him
original-
permission to come down and say hi if he wants to.
The original sleigh was built by elves before I ever came on the scene because they knew that there was going to be someone who was going to be taking care of children. They had the idea. It was originally built out of a real lightweight wood. Now it's built out of a tensile steel that's
Nice.
very strong but light and fast. As far as how fast it will go, it depends on how fast I need it to go.
Very
That's
cool.
true.
Wow.
I know go faster than the speed of sound or I'd disappear. But
Then Shannon's asking.
now husband's either there or you're being robbed. I don't know which.
Hi
Hi there.
Hi, Santa.
Hello. Merry Christmas.
Hi,
Merry
Doug.
Christmas.
So
He's got him out.
Shannon is asking, let's see. How fast do you have to start making presents for next year? Like when do you start making presents for next year?
Oh, they'll start the 26th. The elves will.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just straight out of the gate. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we rotate. They take vacations and things
Yeah.
like that, although they don't go very many places.
Sure.
The North Pole, my area is big.
Mhm.
It's got everything they need, but they'll start the 26th.
Okay. All
Now, we
right.
do have to wait on some requests to start coming in, but just like you asked me earlier about popular toys, we know we're going to need a bunch of Legos. We know we're going to need a bunch of American Girl dolls. We're
Yeah.
going to need a bunch of LOL dolls. We're going to need a lot of the things like that.
Stockpile that stuff up.
So we
now.
might as well start now.
Yep, absolutely. Do you have a smartphone? I mentioned you mentioned your smartwatch earlier. Do you have a smartphone as well?
I do.
Okay. And how
Got a
many people-
GPS and all 9 years on it.
Nice. How many people and elves are on your contact list? That's a question. Is that where your list is now? The actual address list?
I don't have a very big list because what I do is we have a system set up where I
Okay.
can call 3 people and they'll call 30 people.
Gotcha.
So I probably got 30 people on mine, but that represents 900.
The old phone. tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Perfect. Makes sense.
What do you do when you're in the sleigh? I mean, obviously you've got work to do, but do you listen to music?
I listen to
Have
Christmas
any-
music.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
I think Oh Holy Night's probably my favorite song.
Agreed.
I like that song a lot.
Yeah.
But I think the best Christmas song written in the last 25 years is Mary Did You Know?
Mm.
Do you have
I love that song.
It's a good one. This probably isn't a nice question, but there is always naughty and nice, right? So what is your least favorite Christmas song? Because there have been some doozies written.
Oh, I hate Santa Baby. That's what's everything wrong with Christmas.
Good
I
answer.
want a watch. I want a new car. That's what's wrong with everything about Christmas is want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Santa
Yeah.
Baby is one of my least favorite song without question.
Yeah. Now we have another question from Doug.
Honey, oh my gosh.
And a follow-up question from Laura Lee. Doug asked, is me and Krista on the nice or naughty list? And is Laura Lee asked if Doug is on the nice or naughty list. So
I'll tell you something most people don't know. There is no naughty and nice list. I have a book that says Santa's Magic Book.
Okay.
especially with children. Now, adults, that's a little bit different. With children, there are just different degrees of nice, but there are no naughty children.
Mm.
And the reason I found this out the hard way, one family asked me to tell their son he was on the naughty list because he was misbehaving. And I started to do that, and I saw the look on his face, and I realized that's not going to happen. Never use Santa like the elf on the shelf. Never use Santa as a weapon.
Yeah.
There are people that do a better job than others, and there are some people that probably should be on the naughty list, world leaders that haven't done the best job in the world. But I believe in grace and forgiveness, so I try to make sure everybody's on the nice list. They're just different degrees of nice.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then what is this? We'll do this one last because I know you got to get scooting here in just a minute. But what is your favorite kind of Christmas cookie?
Well, I hate to say my favorite cookie in the world because it's store bought, but I love Oreos.
Oh
Absolutely.
man, it's hard to pass.
But a
them up,
good
man.
chocolate chip cookie that's soft.
Mm.
Yeah,
I got you, Santa. I got you a cookie.
Yeah.
I am very good at chocolate chip cookies. So
That is his thing. That's Ben's
I
thing.
make a damn good cookie. So.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry to swear like that, but I
that's
mean,
right.
it warrants it. So
Yeah, the chocolate chip cookie that's made, it's just enough al dente, but
Yep.
soft. Yeah,
Yep, just the right amount of chew and a little bit of salt is part of the key.
Oh yeah,
A little tiny bit of salt just sets it off. Yep. Yeah.
Do you, Santa, I have to ask, with your Oreo, do you eat it in a bite or do you take the halves apart?
Oh no, you gotta break them apart. Yeah. you
Okay,
twist them
good.
apart.
Yeah.
Are you a
then
dipper?
combine
Do you
them.
dip? Do you dip it in milk or do you just take
With
the milk?
Oreos, I just eat them. They're about bite size, so
Just as many as we can. Yep.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Do people?
I've got a
does
short
anybody-
period of time to get those cookies in my face.
There you go.
And the reindeer hate them when I eat too many because the sleigh gets a little heavier.
Yeah.
Well, I get a little heavier in the sleigh.
Well, you're moving really fast, so I imagine again you're burning a lot of calories. So
Yeah.
I think you look like you're in pretty good shape too. So
I try.
It's a,
Yeah.
it's a lot going on. It's a
Yeah.
lot going on. Well, my goodness,
This is
I'm so
awesome.
excited for you. You've got the big night tomorrow, and
This is the
Hopefully you get
best. I mean, it doesn't get better than this.
this is so much fun.
Yeah,
Well, and I
and
love
what a year to have a good Christmas too. You know, like I think it's a nice way to end the year and have a really solid Christmas. So
yeah, and I think that's what's nice about. I've got a book here called Dear Santa, and it's a compilation of letters to Santa Claus from the 1800s all the way through 2015. And you know, the author of the book, before he put my letters in there, said that Christmas was really developed the way we know it after the Civil War, so that people would have something to look forward to after a nation being ripped to shreds.
yeah.
You know, Christmas has been around other countries for thousands of years, but you know, the United States, we're not that old when you look at other countries.
sure.
So, you know, the mid 1800s is when Christmas really hit hard here. And my picture, of course, people know Thomas Nast drew the first picture of Santa that looks like this. And of course, the night before Christmas, the original title of that was A Visit from Saint Nick.
Yeah.
And that's still one of my favorite stories of all time.
Yeah.
As
We
far
read it
as
every Christmas Eve. Every Christmas Eve.
in fact, I've got a visit coming up, the drive-by, where I'm going to use. I've got a pop-up book. of
Oh,
it.
how cool.
That's cool.
Love that.
That's awesome.
And I think for me, you know, this is not, I get in the Christmas spirit sometime around the first week or so of December, and this year, it's been rough to get into it. So I'm really thankful that you took the time to chat with us today. I
It's
feel
my pleasure. I start listening to
lot
Christmas
merrier.
music in August.
Yeah.
you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
I
been
don't start that early, but
Well, Mrs. Claus makes me take the tree down, or I'd leave it up year round.
you know, we talked about it, that I think that we may be leaving our Christmas lights up a long time this year.
I think everybody should. Just
I think
spread
we
that
all
word,
should.
everybody. Just leave them up.
Yeah.
Especially when it snows. It
'em
looks
up.
so nice when it snows.
it's so
out.
pretty and it's so bright.
Yeah.
January 6th is when we start taking things down around the North Pole,
Okay.
because that's traditionally when the Magi actually got to where Christ was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we do there.
Okay.
But
Do you decorate, Santa? Here's a weird question. Do you decorate for Halloween?
I don't.
Okay.
Halloween's not one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Mrs. Claus, believe it or not, her favorite holiday is Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Of course, mine's Christmas.
Well, yeah.
Halloween's never been one of my favorite. My mother-in-law, Mrs. Claus's mom, who's still around, believe it or not, after all these hundreds of years.
Wow.
She loves to give the candy out. This year was totally different because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
I do like to watch the little ones dressed up.
Yeah.
But Halloween's not, the idea behind All Hallows Eve is not something, I don't think it's wrong. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, you're probably already busy by that point. So it's kind of a meh, whatever.
Yeah.
Pass along. You got a lot
Thanksgiving
going on.
I do the cooking for Thanksgiving. I do take a break to do that.
Ooh.
I brine a turkey every year and then bake it, and we enjoy that.
Man.
But
I want a Santa made turkey. That sounds
fantastic. Not all bad.
That's on Ben's list. Santa, I just want a vacation. If that's a possibility.
I just want a minute, man. Just a minute, please.
Well, maybe I can slow time down for you and you'll be all right.
Yeah, there you go.
Or you could speed it up. There's some parts I want to just fast forward through.
Depends on the day, I suppose.
Yeah, I've got all kinds of meters. I've got spirit meters that I can check people's spirit, whether they got the Christmas spirit or not. And the belief factor is a lot of where the magic comes from.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's been so many depictions of you in movies. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, I've got several. I mean, I love A Miracle on 34th Street, with Natalie Wood.
She was so good in that.
Oh, and I like White Christmas, Ben Crosby and Danny Kaye. Believe it or not, because he's such a stud, I love the Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
With Kurt Russell.
Okay.
Yeah, those are good.
And after the first one, at the very end, when we found out Mrs. Claus was Goldie Hawn, I thought, what a great twist. I am traditional in my suit. I know a lot of Santa impersonators that try to help me out around the world are going to the Kurt Russell look with the dark fur and that kind of thing. Santa Claus wears this. That's what I wear. The people that help me, my helpers around the world, can wear what they want, but I wear the burgundy and white. But yeah, I like all of the, Miracle on 34th Street, A Wonderful Life. In fact, I've got a bell on my tree that says Wonderful Life on it, on the North Pole tree.
I just watched that last night.
Yeah, and I like the Hallmark movies, even though they're all the same. They've all got exactly the same. They just have different actors.
I'm a sucker for pretty much any Christmas movie, honestly.
Oh, I sit and cry like a baby at those movies. And I know what's coming, I still cry.
Yeah. Yep.
But I would say if I have a favorite of all, it's got to be Miracle on 34th Street.
It's a good
the one with Natalie Wood.
Yeah.
Although the newer one with the little girl played on Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh yeah,
that's a pretty good one as well. But I still like, and I watch it in black and white.
Yeah.
When
I watched It's a Wonderful Life last night, I watched with friends of mine, and I watched it in color for the first time, and it felt wrong.
Yeah.
In a way, like it should be in black and white.
Nope, should have been left well enough.
And people can say what they want. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one, but
Now I love Bruce Willis, and I think it's a great movie.
Not a Christmas movie.
Yeah, and that's
I would also
my
put
opinion.
Gremlins on that list too. It is.
That's right.
Yeah, any movie with anything Christmas in it. So Mean Girls, right? That's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, there you go.
I hadn't thought about that, but yes. So
yes. Well, I hate to do this, but I know that you have lots to get done. So Santa, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast with us today.
Oh, no problem. It was my pleasure. I enjoyed the experience. It's great.
Thank you.
And
best of
I
luck
enjoyed
tomorrow.
the questions. Thank you.
Yes, thank you all.
I enjoyed the questions, and it was nice to meet everybody. Ben, it's great to meet you.
Lovely meeting you.
And Krista, I'm glad we finally made contact.
Yes. I knew you were busy, but I'll be chatting with you soon.
Sure, I'll be contacting you after the Christmas rush is over with.
Yeah, you get some rest because I know you're
All
pretty
right.
well swamped. So
Cool.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much.
Boxland Media. Think big.